오빤 강남스타일 강남스타일 오빤 강남스타일 강남스타일 오빤 강남스타일 Hey sexy lady 오빤 강남스타일 Hey sexy lady 성숙해 보이지만 놀 땐 노는 여자 이때다 싶으면 묶었던 머리 푸는 여자 가렸지만 웬만한 노출보다 야한 여자 그런 감각적인 여자 나는 선호해 점잖아 보이지만 놀 땐 노는 선호해 내가 되면 완전 미쳐버리는 선호해 근육보다 사상이 울퉁불퉁한 선호해 그런 선호해 아름다워 사랑스러워 그래 너 hey. 그래 바로 너 hey. 아름다워 사랑스러워 그래 너 hey. 그래 바로 너 hey. 지금부터
The news that concerns you.
This is Dream 92.5 News.
Good morning and thank you very much for joining us on 92.5 Enugu's Dream FM News at 10. My name is Deborah Mba. We begin here in Enugu, where residents have been advised to take advantage of the World Bank-assisted projects in developing themselves. Focal officer of the World Bank-assisted projects in Enugu State, Uche Nnadi, made the call in an interview with newsmen as he spoke on the role of the World Bank in community development projects. Nnadi commended Governor Ifeanyi Ugwuanyi for his administration's support and noted that the focal office has been established in the state to also checkmate corruption and duplication of projects. Meanwhile, our government house correspondent Nnamdi Ono reports that the establishment of the World Bank-assisted focal office is a welcome development. The ruling political party and opposition parties in Enugu State have been tasked to present female candidates for the posts of governor and senate in the 2023. A cross-section of women leaders gave the task while observing the need to get more women involved in the current government of the state. Chairperson, League of Women Voters in Enugu State, Noma Nena Anozie, said women are underrepresented in the current government and leadership of the state. Also, representative of Genuine Womenhood Initiative, Jane Ndukwe, said women need to work together in order to achieve the goal. Many women identified culture, religion, and poor education as some of the major factors affecting women participation in politics. Our correspondent, Michael Lilidiago, observed the need to end a voter apathy across all the genders in the state, as the women are also demanding for a female governor and election of female senators in 2023. We'll bring you updates of this report in our subsequent bulletins. Moving on to Benue State, where Governor Samuel Ortom on Monday threatened to drag the federal government to court if the National Assembly continues to deliberate on the National Water Resources Bill. The National Water Resources Bill had been rejected by the National Assembly in 2018, but recently reintroduced. This came after the Nigeria Labour Congress and Nobel laureate Professor Wole Soyinka called on Nigerians to resist any plan to resurrect the rejected bill as it breaches citizens' rights to water. They therefore pleaded with the leadership of the National Assembly not to resurrect or pass the bill into law because of the danger it poses to national unity. The House of Representatives Committee Chairman on Aviation, Honorable Nnoli Mnaji, has appealed to aviation workers to present their challenges against the proposed airport concession before the National Assembly. Mnaji's comment was in reaction to the peaceful protest embarked on by aviation unions on Monday. The lawmaker commended the workers for being civil in their protests and assured that both committees of the Senate and House of Representatives will intervene in the matter as soon as possible. According to him, a meeting, which will be announced later in the day, will be held to offer all stakeholders the opportunity to air their opinions on the matter and address them. The Inspector General of Police, Mohammed Adamu, has approved the second edition of the Conference for Senior Police Officers. The force public relations officer, Frank Mba, made the announcement on Monday in Abuja and said this is part of efforts to implement community policing across the country. The conference is scheduled to hold in Uyo, the capital of Akwa Ibom State, between November 16th and November 19th this year and would focus on new policing approaches and tools for addressing crime. Mba explained that community policing experts have been carefully selected across the globe to engage in peer review and cross-fertilization of ideas. Still on the national scene, the federal government has been warned against reopening tertiary institutions without taking strong steps to curb the spread of COVID-19. The National Vice President of the Academic Staff Union of Universities, Professor Emmanuel Osodeke, noted that social distancing and other protocols are practically impossible in public tertiary institutions because they are always overcrowded. Recall that the Minister of State for Education, Chukwuemeka Nwajuba, had on August 22nd said tertiary institutions shut due to the coronavirus pandemic in March would reopen very soon. According to them, reopening the institutions would not only be suicidal but worsen the spread of coronavirus. You're listening to the news at 10 and 92.5 Enugu's Dream FM. Up next, we bring you stories from the foreign scene, entertainment, and sports. Stay with us. Thank you very much for staying tuned to the news at 10. And now moving on to the foreign scene, the Zimbabwean government has announced that white farmers whose lands were seized between 2000 and 2001 under a government land reform can now apply to get them back. The nation's finance minister, Mthuli Nkube, and lands and agriculture minister, Anxious Masuka, who released a statement today, however, said where the land cannot be given back, the farmers will be offered land elsewhere. According to the ministers, the government would revoke offer letters to black farmers who have resettled in the land. Also, white farmers whose lands are yet to be seized by the government can apply to lease the land for 99 years. Still on the foreign scene, following the coronavirus pandemic, leader of the Scottish National Party, Nicola Sturgeon, has announced plans to create jobs and trainings in the year ahead. Sturgeon said she wants Scotland to rebuild a stronger, fairer and more sustainable economy. In the meantime, opposition parties have called for more investment in transport, childcare, housing and support for local firms. On the entertainment scene, popular Nigerian actress Angela Okorie says Nigerians are hypocrites for mourning Chadwick Boseman. The actress on her Instagram page yesterday attacked Nigerians for mourning the late movie star and said she wonders where they were when the Hollywood star was battling with cancer. She observed the need to celebrate lives worth celebrating when they are alive and not when they are gone, especially people who have done a lot to put smiles on the faces of others. Chadwick Boseman, best known for his role in 2018 superhero flick Black Panther, had died of colon cancer at the age of 43. Finally, in the news in sports, President of the Nigeria Table Tennis Federation, NTTF, Ishaku Tikon, says the federation is ready to resume competitions after the recommendation of the Presidential Task Force on COVID-19 pandemic. The PTF on COVID-19 recently said such sports as badminton, Table tennis and track and field events could resume with strict adherence to set safety protocols. Tikan, however, said the Federation would still wait for directives from the Sports Ministry, which is expected to meet with the National Assembly before deciding how to restart its programs. And that's the news at 10 and 92.5 Enugu's Dream FM. Thank you so much for being a part of it. Join us again at 1 p.m. when we bring to you more updates in our bulletin. Remember to help curb the spread of COVID-19 by washing your hands regularly with soap and water and practicing physical distancing. You can reach us or watch us on YouTube. It is Dream TV Enugu, and click on the notification button to watch us live.
Listen, I am telling you that
I don't agree. I don't.
Yeah, who the president?
No. You can't say that.
Politics. Where is good governance?
Everyone is a political animal.
I don't like politics.
But I love political voices.
On Political Voices, we talk politics. In a country of diverse interests, who gets what, when, and how is politics. And this is our business on Political Voices. Nigeria, a country of over 160 million people. Political Voices is gauging the temperature, setting the agenda. Political Voices, exclusively on Dream FM, 9 o'clock in the morning, Monday to Friday.
You're welcome back. This is Political Voices on 92.5 Enugu's Dream FM. We are back to conclude our thoughts on the issue of state creation and governance in Nigeria, the issues. In the studio with me this morning is Dr. Augustine Okolie, policy management consultant and public affairs analyst, and Dr. Desna Aja, versatile pundit and former head political advisory and consulting Neighbor to Neighbor Nigeria. Dr. Okolie, before we went on the break, we mentioned the issue of perhaps if there is a discussion about giving the Southeast another state or more states, where would it be located?
Well, that's a very interesting question. But I guess that it is said that you have to reach the bridge before you cross it. Those who have prepared themselves for it are waiting for it. If you ask me, I will say that that is not the problem. Where to locate the states. Adada is waiting in the wings. Some other Njaba are waiting. We have so many places that have already, configured and arranged, waiting for their, anointing. So where we are going to give states, if they bring it, is not going to be a problem. But like I said, let them say they want to give it to us. Let them decree. Let them legislate. Have to get to the bridge before we cross it. Sometimes they even begin to wonder where the headquarters is going to be. They always solve the problem. It crops up, but it's always solved. But the matter is that the Southeast have yearned for it, and most people who are saying they don't want more states are those who are coming from the North. Is there any coincidence that they have been saturated with states? And it's not states matter, it's resources. It's resources. If you want to create more states, if people are yearning for it, it means they can actually, work towards it. For instance, Enugu State is now number 3 or 4 of IGR states. IGR, for your own interest to know, is internally generated revenue. Without industry, without no new industry, without, but with creativity, just harnessing, mopping up, scratching the surface. Because if they go deep down, they can raise more money than they get from the federal allocation. In Lagos State too, Lagos generates more revenue internally than they get from the federal allocation. So without even industries, the such industry, most of the industries are from Ogun State. Far from Ogun State, but Lagos also have their own fair share. But most of the industries have gone. No more Dunlop, no more all those industries, no more Bata, no more Berek batteries, no Volkswagen and so on. So, but if they should, if they leave this attitude of going to Abuja and borrowing money from abroad, let them look inside, look inwards, and begin to create and begin to industrialize. Then you can see when Lagos have Dunlop, have Guinness, you have Nigerian Airways, have so many industries that are taking up employment and creating wealth. So if you give states, if you allow states to fester, if you allow states to blossom, to be on their own, give them the power, they will exist and they will make more money. It is this dependency syndrome. It is this dependency, this, like my brother said, water bottle or feeding bottle democracy, whereby everybody wants to continue to drink, close their eyes and be drinking from the feeding bottle. That is encouraging laxity and laziness. So if you create states, they will exist if you stop giving them palliatives, if you stop giving them bailout. They have to exist. Because during the war, the people from this part of the world, without anything, for 3 years, apart from the blockade, if they have allowed that blockade, I am sure that the war could have been going on. Now, so what is important is that if you give opportunity, if you allow people who have creativity, those who have capacity, those who have the ability to create wealth, they will do well. What has Japan got in terms of natural resources? Japan has got nothing. What has China got in terms of natural resources? But they are the largest or the second largest economy in the world. So what we are saying is that if federal government, if they want to run well, let them reorganize this country so that those who have wings will be able to fly. You don't clip their wings and they walk along like other domestic animals who have no wings. So give them wings, let them fly. That's why some people are clamoring. Look at the direction of the clamor. The Northerners are not clamoring for more states. They have states. They cannot do anything with them. They have lands. They have local governments. One state boasts of 44 local governments. The whole Southeast have not got up to the number of local governments, and that is the area or the parameters or the sharing formula. So if you don't share, if you create, if it is creation of wealth, creativity, you don't share money according to the local government, then you see that they will begin to merge, begin to come together. Okay? And some people will now have more. So give them power. Let us use 6 zonal structure to, say we have 6 states. Let us now have 6 states instead of 36. Across the board. Let us have 3 senators. Let us have 3 or 10 House of Reps. Let us have one governor. So the problem is that you create this thing for siphoning from the South, the wealth from the South. We know where the wealth is coming from, and those who are, creating and breeding children, organizing themselves to take it from them. So the truth is that let people get their wings and fly, and you will be surprised at the creativity of the people. So that's why people from this part of the world, from Southeast, are going outside, because it is choking down here. There is no light, there is no moment, as if to say the war is still going on. So the truth is that give them allow them to create states. Okay. Even local government that have created, federal government came down to stop them from creating. Because I remember in 2004, 57 local government were created in Enugu State. Ebonyi created, Lagos created, and went to Supreme Court because federal government said we don't have power to create, but they have law who say that state can create local government. So they say it's not gazetted. So these are the mechanisms to stifle progress, stifle development. So the truth is that they have to change the constitution of this country. If they don't do that, we are just like somebody who from ground and perched on top of a molehill. Okay. He's still on the ground.
All right. Dr. Desnaja, is state creation in Nigeria a failed approach to national integration and local autonomy? Is it?
I've answered this question before, and it's not a failed strategy. It is, the fear is that we have continued to have the clamor for more states to be created, because that has not actually solved address the reasons for the demand for more states. Because even in the homes, once there is imbalance, somebody will complain. And now we have imbalances here and there in the states. So people are complaining and they want their own recognition in terms of being given a state. So it's not a failed strategy. But what is required is that it should be fine-tuned to allow equity to prevail. We've continued to talk about the imbalance, how the North has everything, and then the South it has nothing.
I think,
you asked the question about where the state should be created. in the southeast.
Absolutely.
Fine. And, we have three issues to consider. One is historical antecedent. Another one is the issue of marginalization, and then available manpower and resources put together. Now, for historical antecedents, the most in the history of the Nigerian context, of the Nigerian nation, Nsukka zone has been a prominent province both within the Nigerian context and in Biafra. So for that, that should take it. But if you talk about an area that is purely neglected, we have a kind of a conglomeration of areas where nothing has been done. No federal presence, nothing. And that is the area we have Okigwe, Ogu, part of Agwata, and then Afikpo zone.
Don't even go there.
Please, if in terms of that one, you have that should go to Equity State. Now then you can talk about Imo State. Available human resources. That state has 27 local government areas. And some other states have 8 local government areas and then 11 local government areas. So Imo should be split.
No, I don't even want
So that is the issues. You see, please, you had 7 minutes and then I did not interrupt you.
You had
7 minutes.
Respond to that.
So what we're talking about is this. If you begin to talk about the fed nature, what do you have? I believe that agitation for state creation must be backed by certain proposals where you now have the indices that you think will support you as a state. And if there is nothing convincing, state should not be created. But if there is something convincing, if we have enough resources, enough manpower to run a state, you see, I know that there was a time Justice Carlo Anya was the Chief Justice of Borno State. That was because they had no judges. And then they had, which means one particular state in the southeast had surplus, enough to give to that area. It even happens in nations because I know now that Nigerian is the head of the army in Sierra Leone or something like that. So, but what we are saying is this. Those who are assessing agitations for state creation should look deep enough to know what do these people have to kind of begin to demand for states. If it is just a question of satisfying political yearnings, states should not be created. But if it is a question of giving people what they need and then addressing imbalances in Nigerian federations, create more states, the strategy will continue to be there and then it will work very well.
All right, we'll take a quick call before we bring you to the conversation. Dr. Koli, 0811292525. Hello, good morning.
Hello?
Hello, good morning to you.
Thanks for taking my call again, Alex.
You're welcome back.
Thank you, gentlemen in the house. You've spoken so well. Nobody, no political pundit could have spoken better than you've done. Because if you recall, all of us talking now have been following the political situation in Nigeria. We know that our bane has been our constitution. Unfortunately, we are not armed enough to do anything. And it's regrettable. We are talking of changing the constitution. We know how it is done. When we had the opportunity to do it, we refused. This present administrator, President Muhammadu Buhari, may not be in a position to change this constitution and resource control and what have you. Because the North knows how handicapped they are. They also know what they gain, what they benefit. Look at the water system, for example, federal character, for example. They dominate everything. The only place they lack is probably in education, health, and what have you. But the main thing, look at resources, our resources from this country. They take a huge chunk of it. And most of the money is produced, the resources produced in down south here. So what we can do is talk, but our legislators too, and not really, except for Chief Ike Kureman. I don't see anyone talking. They are all there, brandishing their personal IDs and all that, like what Oju Zokan is doing now, with all due respect. We've got to do better than that. What we can only do, we cannot get this constitution changed now, except if the Igbos can get off the politicians and begin to think of how to produce a president or vice president, any which way that our voices can get.
All
You know what? There was a caller who said something against state creation. We were so desperate at one time that we decided to fight a normal state so that they can use the word contiguity to merge us into Southeast Anambra State, Onitsha. People sabotaged it. People from the up country started fighting the Onitsha people that they want to bring us strangers to come and fight. You know, we tried. Unfortunately, we didn't try enough.
Okay, then.
So let's find a solution. Get back our political status in this country. That is what matters.
All right.
It's not how much money you can make. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Odaze, for your thoughts on the program, as always. Dr. Okoli, we are winding down. Well, let's get your final thoughts. You have 2.5 minutes to wrap it up now. I'm sure you have a few concerns you need to straighten up from the submissions of Dr. Aja as you make your final submission of the program.
Well, the conversation is ongoing. I don't think I can use 2 minutes to summarize what I have to say. The only thing is that I cannot be approbating and also be reprobating. You can't be saying that creation of states is productive and progressive and also be saying that it has for snacks. I am saying that, look, there's nothing wrong with creation of states for government and development to permeate the states. But if people feel that creation of more states is not adequate, is not proper, then they should create zones so that each zone can create as many states as they want, as far as their carrying capacity can go. And I also want to respond quickly to what Dr. Odaze, my friend, have said. I don't think Igbos sabotage the creation of an Anioma state. We talk about contiguity. We are voting and rooting for the creation of that state and even the siting of the headquarters in Asaba, because the more the merrier. I don't think it's a good report that, as you can say, the Igbos tried to stifle the creation of Anioma states, calling them strangers. They are part of Ohanese and Igbo, and I don't think anybody is calling Anioma state or Delta state Igbo, this thing as strangers. Now, the truth about creation of states is that is the structure recreation. So if you don't know that when you create state, you change the structure. And you use constitution to do that. And like Mrs. Odaze said, those who are beneficiaries of the status quo will not allow that. And because when you now make it balanced, then we have equal powers to come from various places. So that is the crux of the matter of the Nigerian, what they call the national question, the issue of Nigeria, the issue of nationhood, and even the devolution of powers. Look at what is going on now. How can governors be begging for money from the center? Okay. It's not done in a federating states. So, and it's not that those who have prosperity, those who have resources, do not reside in the south, or that we don't have resources in the north. But it is this strange and this stifling constitutional structure that is making people dependent, this dependency syndrome. So I think that they should review it. We don't want to talk about equity state in Enugu state. If you come to Enugu, we have Adada waiting in the wings. We don't want to go and bring Anambra and bring Okigwe and call it equity. We don't. That was my area of concern for my friend. So we don't want that in our area. Thank you.
All right. Thank you so much. Your final thoughts in 2 minutes, please.
You gave us 2.5 minutes and they are giving me 2 minutes. I'll take 7 minutes. Please, you see, the issue is this. What we need is to have states and to back those states created by credible leadership, so that few individuals should not begin to dictate for areas. People should begin to come up, make noise. Southwest is viable because the people are talking and they're equally acting. But Southeast is not. We don't have the viable means of our media cannot compare favorably with the Western media, so that the excesses of our leaders are now allowed to continue to fester. So we should begin to do what? During elections, we come out, vote, and decide who should lead us, and not a few individuals writing lists and forcing the names in those lists down the throat of the people. That can never make room for zonal growth. So and that is it. So we have the fora, each zone has governors fora. They begin to think about appropriate peer review mechanism of reviving industries, and not of brandishing buildings bought in Asokoro and the other parts of Abuja. So we should begin to do and say, I have done this for my state. What have you done? We have these resources. This is how we've been able to distribute the resources to achieve results, and not just talking about continuously beefing up the space with unnecessary appointments. So we are just that, and we can't run away from it. Credibility of leadership, focused development drive, and then appropriate peer review mechanism among our leaders.
Thank
That's
you
my
so
submission.
much. Thank you so much, Dr. Desna Aja, versatile political pundit and former head political advisory, Neighbor to Neighbor, Nigeria. Well, thank you for your thoughts this morning on the program. And Dr. Augustine Okolie, policy management consultant and public affairs analyst. As always, thank you.
Alex, thank you for having me once again
on the program. I'm sure we'll keep this discussion in view. We'll KIV this discussion because it's still ongoing.
Yes, an ongoing discussion.
Thank you so much. This is Political Voices for this Tuesday, the 1st of September. Tomorrow, we will return with another burning political issue. My name is Alex Obodo, and a special thanks to my producer, Okeodogu, and my production assistant, Lutana Okereke. Good morning.
Oh, lunch. Guys, I'm going for lunch. Please, put more stew. Nice meal. My chest.
Suffering from heartburn and indigestion? Try Just Eat. My recommendation for the past 26 years. Just Eat is a brand of aluminium and magnesium hydroxide and simethicone. Just Eat is available in suspension and tablets. Remedy for heartburn, indigestion, flatulence, and acidity.
Jested, now available in new packs. If symptoms persist after 3 days, please see your doctor. Read the leaflet inside.
We are the future. We are the dream.
All over Africa, there has been a quest for quality education. But with the birth of Kids Quest Academy in Nsukka by the Wilson Group, your desires are met. We specialize in British Nigerian system of teaching. With our qualified instructors, you can be assured that your kids' educational needs have been solved. Our well-crafted structures are world-class standard, having all the modern and digital facilities at Kids